This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good evening, everybody. This is a joint meeting of Planning and Development Subcommittee at Town Council meeting, Wednesday, February 17th, 2021, 5:30 p.m. Time is at 5:30. Chairman's announcements pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, chapter 30 alpha, subsection 18, and the governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Planning and Development Subcommittee is being conducted at remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to view this meeting while in progress may do so by watching the remote information noted below. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website at www.ci.southbridge.ma.us as soon as we are able. Roll call vote is required for all votes taken under this order. We'll do a roll call. So Councilor Adams is here. Dee Dee LaRochelle?
Here.
Councilor Lazo? Absent. Councilor Dow is excused.
You need somebody to sit in, I'd be happy to.
Thank you, Councilor Marchetti. I was going to just ask you that if you don't mind sitting in. Thank you.
No problem. Yep.
So we do have a quorum. And I'm sorry, Catherine is not present, I don't believe. Yeah, she's not present right now. She usually calls a little later. All right, agenda item number 2 is to consider and accept planning development meeting minutes of February 2nd, 2021. Just need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second it, I guess.
Yeah, you can. It's just obviously you abstain from voting, so.
Well, I was at the meeting, but that's all right. I'll abstain.
Oh, okay. So any amendments to this?
I have none.
Okay. So Councilor Marchetti?
Yes.
Any
Oh, you want me to
amendments to it?
abstain? No, I didn't see
I
any.
didn't see that there was any amendments to it.
No,
So.
I didn't see anything.
Okay, all those in favor, Councilor Adams, yes. Dee Dee?
Yes.
And Councilor Marchetti?
Yes.
I get you can say yes, yeah. It's no big deal. All right. Agenda item number 3, discuss, review the local rapid recovery. Before I start, actually, Mr. Rumsey is here, Councilor Catrona is here, Councilor Jovan is present, and Ms. Dean is present as well. So agenda item number 3, discuss, review the local rapid recovery program, LLRP, technical assistance grant, and entertain a motion to vote to recommend that council accept the grant. Motion in a second, please.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Dean?
I was doing a little noise control at home here.
I got it.
Thank you for taking these agenda items. I know the meeting is potentially short, so I'll keep it short and sweet. We initially were applying for the urban agenda and the LRRP at the state's recommendation. When we received both awards, we said to you we didn't have to potentially accept both. Should we be awarded both? Speaking with Eric about this, we think if we could potentially take advantage of any extra technical assistance, it would potentially benefit us. And so we would recommend going for it. And we say for the urban agenda, we focus on the redevelopment authority. For the LLRP, we focus on the downtown vacant storefronts and getting buildings up to code. Maybe someone could come in and really have some suggestions or direction that we can go to be more aggressive about improving things in the downtown.
Okay. Councilor Marquetti, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have anything.
You don't have anything? Okay. Dee Dee,
I'm all set. Thank you.
anybody else out there?
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, Councilor Jovan.
I'm working on, Yvonne sent me the agenda for Monday night, so I just want to make sure we have everything accurate because I'm finding some discrepancies in it. It's assistance, not assistant, correct? It's assistance,
Correct.
not
It's technical
assistant.
assistance. Yeah, assistance.
All right, and does the town manager have to sign any required paperwork?
There's presumably going to be paperwork for this and the urban agenda, which we haven't received to date. So we're asking for you to make the motion to approve accepting the awards and allowing the town manager to sign any related documents. They're both the urban agenda and the LRRP are trying to move as quickly as possible. They'll be getting in contact with us.
Okay, just so, I wanted to include that in the agenda, so she had kind of forgotten some of the stuff. So if you would, as a friendly amendment, I don't know if you can make that, Councilor Adams, I would just add and authorize the town manager to sign and execute all required paperwork, contracts related to the grant.
That's an excellent amendment. That would be wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, I can.
And then on the next two agenda items, I've added that same language, and it just says related to the contract as opposed to the grant. Okay.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
does anybody have a problem with that, Councilor Marquetti or Dee Dee, as a friendly amendment to it? No, I don't either.
I think that's a better way to do those motions when we go forward, especially if we've been awarded that. That way, we accept the grant, we authorize them to sign, execute, all that, okay? All right, so I'll make that change, okay?
Anybody else have any questions? Councilor Catrona?
No, I'm all set right now. Thank you.
Okay, Roger, thank you. And I don't know, caller number 2, is that you, Councilor Jovan?
No, I was not.
Town manager's on one of the lines.
Okay, you're caller number 2. Got it. Okay, so caller number 2 is the town manager. Mr. Town Manager, do you have any suggestions or anything that you'd like to say?
Not at this time. We've done this with the friendly amendment that was mentioned. We've had several other grants from the state. I know the airport project, and I want to say some of the police department grants where we've had to sign the documents and execute them before even making grant applications. So this is something we've encountered before. So I have no issue with it. And we want to act in a timely fashion on a couple of these grants because while we were awarded them, we have to do the procurement and expend the funds in short order. So we want to be careful that we can get this money and be able to execute it and not lose it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Town Manager. And I just want to note that Councilor Steves is here as well. So, and I didn't know if Eric had anything to say on this at all. We'll move forward.
Not at this time, no. Thank you.
Okay. The only question I have for you, Ms. Dean, is it states in here about the extension past June 2021 within the letter, I believe itself. Do you know, have they come up with a date, no later than date at all, or?
The LRRP and the urban agenda extended their performance date to June, I think it's June 30, 2021.
Yeah, it just says planning to extend beyond June 30th, 2021.
And yes, I don't know anything otherwise.
All right.
So hopefully maybe that will be part of the documentation we receive from them that they indicated will be forthcoming.
Okay. All right. Anything else before we vote? All right. All those in favor, Councilor Marquetti,
Yes.
Dee Dee?
Yes.
Counselor Adams, yes. Then item number 4, discuss review the urban agenda funding grant in the amount of $72,000 to promote economic development in the urban renewal area, and entertain a motion to recommend that council allow the town manager to sign prior paperwork related to the contract. And Counselor Jovan, you mentioned all the other wording to it too, because I didn't write it all down as you spoke.
Yes, so it says, so what you have is vote to accept the urban agenda funding grant in the amount of $72,000 to promote economic development in the urban renewal area and authorize the town manager to sign and execute all required paperwork contracts related to the contract.
Okay, I'll need a first and a second on that.
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, discussion. I don't know if Mr. Town Manager wants to start first or go on to Ms. Dean or Eric.
Mr. Chairman, through you, I can defer to Ms. Dean.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Dean?
Sure, I tried to provide as much information as possible in the memo and the budget. The application is consistent with what was presented on the front end, or the award is consistent with what was presented on the front end of the application. So we're pursuing a consultant for $45,000, $5,000 for the actual any kind of charrettes, planning, et cetera, expenses related to it, an intern for $2,000, and then the $20,000 for cultural programming. I'm excited that the town was awarded these funds. I think it's going to be a wonderful propulsion forward towards making the pedestrian plaza a programmed space. So I think we did a very good job of coupling the shared streets and urban agenda towards being able to actually get whatever we need for the market, potential outdoor market, and the funding to be able to bring in the programming simultaneous to it. And I feel like it's a mad dash. I'm excited to get moving as quick as possible.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dean. Does anybody have any questions to discuss this? Councilor Marquetti?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. I know that I spoke against these grants during the council meeting, but the council voted to accept them, so I don't have a problem supporting them. The only thing that the comments I want to make about sometimes when we hire these consultants, once they get their foot in the door, the town never seems to get rid of them. We keep pouring into whatever they're doing. It doesn't have to be that way. That's the only point I was trying to make. The culturally inclusive programming, does that include everyone? Like if the Italians wanted to have a party or the Albanians or is it exclusively the Latinos?
Go ahead, Ms. Dean.
Thank you. So the intention is to be as inclusive of all residents as possible. And so we hope to have a community conversation about what that culturally inclusive should be. The state wants to promote, obviously, the Latinx population and any Black community that feels that is underrepresented in programming right now. So anything we can do to bolster what might be underrepresented, and then of course cultural inclusion of everyone already.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Dee Dee or anybody else?
No, sir.
I agree with Councilor Marquetti as far as the putting somebody's foot in the door and holding on for dear life I'll just keep my words simple, just like that, just holding on for dear life for a job in the town. So I think I think both him and I made that same type of comment at the last meeting. We talked about when you asked to apply for this grant. The only question I do have at this point is hiring the intern and probably the consultant. Is there anybody specific? I know that anybody specific that you're going to look for this, or is it gonna post it online through the town?
Yeah, so I've already reached out to MIT about posting a potential intern, and if we don't get immediate response, we'd probably look towards other more local colleges. I'll consult with Michael about that if we look elsewhere. And then with regards to the the consultants, I've been doing research on redevelopment authorities, and I've been asking around if any, if people have any suggestions of potential redevelopment authority experts that we could potentially ask to submit a quote, or if we pursue an RFP. I've put a call into the state, the IG's office, asking them if we do an RFP, if we would follow the same RFP process as procurement for over $50,000. And so I'm working out those details right now. And then if it was an RFP, then you're asking for a request for proposals. It's whatever comes in. If you're doing a quote, it would be the lowest quote of the people that you've asked for quotes from. And so ideally, those people that I request quotes from are the people that we have X qualifications. They need to have redevelopment authority experience. They need to have financing expertise. They need to have a background in urban revitalization or renewal plans and implementing them. And so, hopefully we'll have someone who's actually not just any economic development skill, that you're specializing. And I agree wholeheartedly that this is a brief 4-month stint.
Very well, thank you, Ms. Dean. Any other comments? All right, vote. All those in favor, Dee Dee?
Yes.
Councilor Marquetti?
Yes.
Councilor Adams, yes. All right, agenda item number 5. Discuss review of the Mass DOT shared winter streets and space grant award for $230,950 to promote a more walkable. Is it workable or walkable?
Walkable.
Walkable. W-A-L. All right. Walkable. Southbridge. Entertain a motion to recommend that council accept this grant. First and a second, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
I'm
sorry, Ms. Dean.
Council Adams,
Yeah.
first, I missed that. Was it walkable or workable?
Walkable. W-A-L-K.
Okay, because I have to change that. And again, I'm going to add the remaining language to that as well,
Understood.
which would say an authorized town manager to sign and execute any and all required paperwork contracts related.
Mr. Town Manager, can you mute yourself real quick?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry. I think I got you, Councilor Jovan. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just the addition of the same language that I had on the above agenda item.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure it's walkable. As in
Walkable.
walk.
Yeah. Walk.
All right. I changed it and made sure it's correct. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Ms. Dean.
So I think this is a big win for the town. I'm very excited. I've already been working on the procurement so that we can move as quickly as possible to execute the grant. And it's all as was presented on the front end of the application being awarded, less Councilor Marquetti's wishes. There is no sound system, no hay bales, no blankets, and what was the fourth? No, there's a fourth item. I'm not looking at the paperwork.
Vendor hardware.
Vendor hardware software.
Oh yes, that was a big one. No vendor hardware software. So less the 6,000 plus of those funds comes out to 230,000, and we look forward to getting moving as quickly as possible.
Very well. Any discussion on this?
I just have a question. Are
Yes,
the rapid flashing pedestrian beacons, these are the 5 places they'll go? So we can't choose somewhere else. I know we've already discussed this, and I apologize. So these are the 5. Because I was thinking in front of the post office. That's an awful crosswalk there.
Chair?
Go ahead, Ms. Dean. Yep.
Yeah, good news is that during the Main Street construction, there will be one there. So that is already happening, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
A lot of flashing beacons around this town very soon. So, okay. Nothing else? Before we vote on this, I just want to thank Ms. Dean because there seems to be a vision going on. I think we started a couple years ago, but it's culminated, And I read over the application she wrote up that put us over the top to get us the $231,000. And I just want to say thank you, because this all kind of meshes into from the Central Street parking lot to Main Street itself to some much needed areas like the old tag to help out, which was a request from the police chief as well, due to a lot of complaints from local residents. And so it's just, I just want to appreciate it, because if you look at the application itself, it all runs into rebuilding that downtown corridor. So I want to thank you, and thank you for your vision on that one.
May I,
All right.
Counselor?
Yes, Ms. Dean.
Counselor, I appreciate your commending the application. I want to thank the subcommittee, the town council. You were all incredibly supportive. You took a leap of faith on some levels. And so I feel like everyone should be very proud of themselves for earning these dollars.
Thank you, Ms. Dean. We'll find out in a second when we vote. So, Councilor Marquetti.
Yes.
Dee Dee?
Yes,
And Councilor Adams, yes. Item number six, discuss review the VHB agreement for engineering services totaling $14,150 to design the 5 Mass DOT shared winter streets funded rapid flashing beacons, and I entertain a motion to vote to recommend that council ratify this agreement, along with what Councilor Jovan had mentioned earlier about signing the contracts and proper paperwork. First and second.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay. Yes, sir. Ms. Dean?
I'm just moving over to the screen with the paperwork. As you saw, we already pursued the 3 quotes to be able to bring you a half-executed contract at this meeting, be able to have them design what's a pretty standard design, and be able to have this with the bid process so that we could go out for construction as soon as I'm hoping for April. So April 1. And so if they have a design by March 15th, to be able to then go out to bid and be able to act as quickly as possible.
Is that April 1st or April 5th that they're looking at opening the bids? If everything works.
I think I chose the 5th because the 5th was let's look at I think the 5th was a Friday. No, the 5th was a Monday. So I was aiming, yeah.
All right. Any questions?
And I should just add, the reason they probably came in so much lower, mind you, they had just designed the rapid flashing beacon for the Main Street project. So they're well positioned to just pick up this extra work. It sometimes feels like we're wedded to this engineering firm, but for me in this situation, it was completely understandable that this was just a translation of what they've already done for us.
Thank you, Ms. Dean. That was one of my questions I had, because there is such disparity between the other two.
Yeah.
Councilor Marquetti, did you have, I didn't see, I thought I saw your hand raised.
No, I'm good.
All right. Dee Dee, do you have anything?
No, all set.
Anybody else? So I was just going to ask you about the disparity, but that made sense when you started kind of taking a look at the actual, their bid process themselves, explain the work they're doing on Main Street. And the other thing is, DPW take a look at this at all?
Heather and Matt, they received it also, yes.
Okay, so okay. And did they, I don't know if you mentioned this and I may have missed it in here, did they have an estimated date of completion for these 5?
I have the dates in there. So we
Did you?
built
I'm
that.
sorry.
No, that's okay. We built it into the quote. So complete the design work by March 19, so the town can open sealed bids for construction by April 5. And so
I'm
then.
sorry. Completion of the whole process.
Oh, the completion
After
of the whole
bids.
process. We have until May 31 to get all work completed. And so assume that we're going out for construction by early April for them to have a solid 2 months to be able to complete the work.
Thank you. Councilor
Or 6
Capona?
Nothing,
You
Mr.
popped
Chairman.
on,
My
sorry.
question was asked and answered. I was wondering if the DPW had reviewed this, so thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Councilor Steves?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A quick question that just occurred to me that maybe it should have occurred to me longer ago, but is there any need to talk to Mass DOT since it is a numbered state highway?
No, because
Since it's a state grant, but
yeah, all of these are within our jurisdiction. So
okay.
even though it's, yeah, so yeah, I had to run through those with Heather. That was one of my last minute questions because in the grant, it's very clear you have to own all of the places in advance of being any work there.
Okay, good. And just to clarify, so VHB is what are they actually like designing the crosswalks, repainting them and that kind of stuff? Is that what what are they actually doing? The electrical work for these beacons?
So the only work that's being done on the crosswalk is the one at Dresser Park on Main. We're going to do a pavement treatment there to enhance the crosswalk. All the other ones we're not so concerned with the crosswalk. We're installing the rapid flashing beacon, and in order to do so, you're doing the grade for the apron for the sidewalk to enter the road at ADA compliance, and actually Heather has stretched that ADA compliance. She's saying, as it may go as far out as 20 feet in either direction from that to be able to, that's just an enhancement to our ADA access on our sidewalks. So then you're doing whatever the specs are related to the installation. So it's and it's stated in the quote actually. Let me see if I have right there. I didn't provide you
It is stated in there.
the survey, the design. Okay, so you see the crosswalk is just, that's the one pavement treatment. Assistance in the bidding and the oversight are obviously outside of the design. And then the design itself was yes, it's the electrical. We are going for solar in wherever we can do solar. Here we go.
Yep.
Design 5 solar powered rapid flashing beacons, the foundations, the signals, the detectable warning fields, the sidewalk apron to meet ADA compliance up to 20 feet in each direction, and then design the one crosswalk pavement treatment.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anything else or anybody else? Okay, all right. All those in favor, Dee Dee?
Yes.
Councilor Marquetti?
Yes.
Councilor Adams, yes, 3-0. Agenda item number 7. The only thing I'd say is thanks, Councilor Marquetti, for stepping in. I appreciate that. Thank you this evening. And anybody else? All right, agenda item number 7, vote to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, Dee Dee?
Yes.
Councilor Marquetti?
Yes.
Councilor Adams? Yes, I forgot about myself. Thank you. All right, have a good night, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for pulling this meeting together. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.